This video is about the Yap Sandiego Ancestral Home. It's now open to have a look in there. It was open at 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. What you're looking at here is one of the tourism spot that is located here in Parian. This is called the Yap Sandiego Ancestral House, and it's now open for touristing. It's open from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. You can see that it's an old Spanish structure, and they allow like a museum for some of the old rich families during the Spanish time and how they live. And if you think about it, this has been open to the public for a while now because this is considered as a Cebuano heritage that people are also taking here if you're having a city tour to look at the heritage, the history, the culture that Cebuanos have during the Spanish time. You can see there is a Philippine flag because it is considered as a heritage, Cebuano heritage. And I'm shocked that this Lim Bonfing Ihanyos building beside the ancestral Yap Sandiego Ancestral Home still existing. So as we go closer to the house, you can see that it's made of coral stone, the kind of materials that they used during the Spanish time to erect like the wealthy people's houses during the Spanish time, and then the top one will be made of wood. So this is the Yap Sandiego Ancestral Home. Ga, tanaw mi ga. Pilay kuan? 50 per person. So I'm going in now to the Yap Sandiego Ancestral Home, and the significant antique doors that they have here during the Spanish time is their door knockers. There's no doorbell before, so this is the sculptured metal structure. So sense already inside. This is what you can see in here. It's always open because this is a privately owned ancestral home. You can see their defection of the Santo Niño date back to the Spanish era. Spanish era, about the 1500s, because the Yap Sandiego Ancestral Home, Yap is a Chinese family and San Diego is the Spanish, so it's a mixture of the Spanish and Chinese heritage of Cebuanos. So the family left older ancestral furnishings, antiques here, and this is their dining area. So you could already imagine it during the old times. The family sit down here. They are considered one of the affluent families during those times, and they are still considered as one now here in Cebu.
Founded in 1590.
So 1590 was this house was created. So you can see they still retain the old structure, although I think there's some reinforcements done on the beam there.
Often called this balay nga bato ug kahoy.
So this is often called the house of wood and stone, coral stone. So look at the big 1500 bench here, fully carved. Now you can imagine at that time that you are accepting your guests in a fully carved hardwood. So this is only found in the rich people's home. Although you can see that their floorings in the old times are, they also defect the pebbles, so they're like, you got the feel that you're on the river, the beach. So the family dining area with their long dining table, bench, and all the cabinets, all the paintings, they still retain it here. And all the old columns for the house, well, it's erected, but like I said, I could see that there's reinforcement on the beam there looking out. But overall, they maintain the look of it since the 1500s. This is one of the oldest surviving ancestral homes here in Cebu City. So this is a must that you must visit here. The fee is 50 pesos per person to look around, video, photograph, they allow it.
If you look around, then there's it would only show how Filipino families are influenced by the Spaniards.
Yeah, there's
Because
a
if you
lot
look
of
saints.
religious icons, religious defections, like the cabinet is full of religious carvings.
And then one of the sabon is the Santo Niño.
Yeah,
And also like this one.
they have digitalized their old picture there of the owner, but these chairs, you could imagine it, 1500s.
Also impressed by this.
It's just like it's not so lit up, but I'll try my best to edit it and make it lighter. All the Santo Niño carvings on the top. And this is another table, so when they entertain, it's already ready set for their guests. So they either dine there near the window or dine here in the middle near the kitchen. So there's a lot of religious artifacts. And this one, so this will lead to the garden. I think it needs to have to open up this one to have a light here of what's inside here.
I guess we can also go upstairs.
Yeah, but I'll have a look there in the garden. Okay. So from the kitchen, yeah, this is the kitchen, dirty kitchen, cocina luz. So cocina luz, where they used to cook the kitchen family meals. It can be accessed from the entrance of the house or from the dining area itself. I think that's the preparation area, which is the kitchen, working kitchen. And this is the garden of the family in the old times, the Yap Sandiego family, and you can see them there on their portrait. The old Spanish time Yap Sandiego. The Yap Sandiego are known as well for their dance talent. They are like the Yap Sandiego dancers. You would hear that because they are like one of the Philippine group dancers that represent the country abroad. So this is their garden.
I guess this is the usual source of like water for Filipinos before.
Yeah.
Balon?
Balon in Tagalog.
Balon in Tagalog. I don't know what is it in Visayas.
Tabay.
Tabay, yeah, tabay. Or I guess in Mindanao they call it, the refer it as a tabay.
It is also called tabay here in.
Tabay or
They
tabay.
still have water there. It's still deep. It's still producing water. But they are
Yes,
they are
no
using it
longer
for all these plants. They still have the bonsai.
watering the plants.
Yeah. Bonsai. And you can imagine it when they are looking through their windows during the Spanish time, they are also looking through their garden.
And this is really an old structure because
It is
located at the heart of, at the
1500s.
heart of Cebu City.
Yeah, because this is the area where the wealthiest family during the Spanish time resides, because they are near the main street, Colon.
Commercial
Colon
place.
is the first street and the oldest street in
In the
Cebu,
not in
Philippines.
Cebu, in the Philippines.
Yeah. So right now this garden will have been a big garden during that time, but right now you can see this is just a small garden. Look in here, an old bench, 1500s.
And even a paddle.
So they are also like the political governance during the Spanish time. So we will continue on our tour. There's another antique statue there, carved of wood, depicting some priests.
I guess this is a St. Francis Assisi.
Oh, okay. So I told you he knows about all these things
Saint
because he's
Francis
very
Assisi.
religious. So they from here they go in to this kitchen area.
And this is a, they call it I forgot the name of the street. But this is
But that's the
like
baliti tree.
Baliti, yeah.
So that's the
There's
toilet area. They also modernized it now, not just the old Spanish time, of course. And there outside they also like renovated with amakan, still using the indigenous materials that's still available now, but they're trying hard to retain the old Spanish material, because like the tisa, which is the clay roofing materials, you still can buy it. This is what I use in my house actually, the tigula tisa clay tiles. Then that's the entrance, and you can see all the depictions of the religious icon, Saint Michael Archangel, which is the patron saint of Argao. And from here there's two angels on the steps. We're gonna go up to the second floor of the house. This is the grandiose stairs they have during the Spanish time. Go. So you'll be greeted again with another religious artifacts, because the family during those times, the Spanish times, everyone is into religion. In fact, you'll be prosecuted if you're not into. You have to be forced to believe the religion of the Spaniards. And again, you can see that another dining area is here. There's another grandiose dining table, and they also displayed some of the Chinese heritage of the family. You can see here the dragons, the old dragons, and the old artifacts of the family, but it's not so obvious. But here are the Chinese. The Yap is another family, Yap Sandiego Ancestral Home. So like crochet curtains and the roof. I will let you see the roof if you can see it. There's the tisa. The trusses are made of solid wood, and they are now backing it up with amakan. So here, there's an old Spanish costume.
It's good that this has been preserved. This is the banga.
Yeah. So this is a room. Must be the master's bedroom of the owner. You can see the 4 foster beds. And it's full of religious artifacts and portrait of the family.
Look at this chair.
That's the old Spanish design. Actually, there are modern modern version of this one now, because that's the clothes cabinets. The modern version of this kind of chair that you're looking at here with that long arm, that's old Spanish design. The harp, old Spanish chairs, old cloth, crochet, hand crocheted,
If you notice,
the doilies and decorations,
the wood use is very, very
sturdy and strong.
sturdy. Yeah, and
Look at this. Saan yung telephone? Candle.
like lamp.
Because there's no electric at that time, so you can imagine that they put the candles there. So this is the grand bedroom of the masters of the house.
I guess that's the
owner.
matriarch, the grand matriarch.
So there, the family from generation.
We call it for Filipinos gansilyo.
Gansilyo, the
old
crochet.
Yeah, crochet. For English. Cross
So you
stitching.
can see here, there's another little bed. The bed used to be just made of wood. 4-poster bed.
And look at how they have their
So going out, you can see that they have like refreshment area where they will be serving drinks, I suppose, or like serving area before they put up the food here, serving the dining table on the side, because this is the banga for water. This is the water jug, and these are the old Spanish type of plate, you know. Look at the heavy there, and they still have their old jade plate there. That's the jade plate. I know it there, jade plate, because jade is actually a common stone around here.
Utensils way back during those 1950s.
Yeah.
Look at how they have how ingenious the Filipinos.
And that's the hot drink. That's the hot drink area.
Look at it.
Yeah, because that's where you grind all the chocolate, the sikwati, coffee, hot chocolate. That's where they grind it. That's the hot drink area. And that's where they serve the guests, because that's the best laid out table. And all the fancy porcelain teacups. So there's defection painting of the house, how it used to look like before, but we can't focus it. It's so dark. They have but here it's well lit up because the windows are open. This is their sala veranda. So this where they entertain the guests. They have a big mirror there, and you can see the trusses on the top of the look. It's made of solid wood, and the tiles, the tisa, are resting on those solid beams made of wood. And you're looking at here through the window from that to here. Now you can imagine it that the family sit down on this little coffee table and talking to their guests and looking at the road, because that used to be the Mabini road here in Parian. So there's the table and chairs. This is the table and the chairs, the old Spanish ones. Even there's a transistor radio, or someone put a telephone, because that's, as the years go by, they have telephone here in the Philippines. But look at this here.
And there's like a tocador there,
What's tocador?
like a cabinet where they put their utensils.
That one, look, carved old Spanish carvings. So it really depicts the old Spanish culture that we have inherited, and with a mix of the Chinese culture as well. You can see from where it started on the Spanish culture and then mixed with the Chinese, and then unto the present that they even have an old telephone there in the corner.
And this is even an old radio.
Yeah,
Look
an
at
old
it.
radio.
So you mentioned it.
Yeah, there's an old radio, there's a piano. You can see there's the piano there. So this is where the family entertained their guests. And that's what the family, they have 4 children. There's a portrait on the back. And they are the one that's putting it now as sharing it to the Cebuano to preserve the heritage of the family. So that is the old radio. Wow, it's so big. Now the radio can just be carried by one hand. Now this is the 3-seater sofa. I guess it's made of magkuno or mulabi tree because it's really preserving after all these years. Because like this is the family that's considered like one of the rich families. So this is there. The like on the back, you can see the painting. Someone just added it in the modern times, but it's depicting the old picture of Parian.
Yeah. Parian used to be during the 1950s.
These 1500s.
1500s. And then
Another entertaining area. So you can see that the family likes entertaining because they got a lot of dining area.
then if you look at it,
Okay.
this is really how the old people used to have. Look at their...
So for my viewers that like history, you can see the beam structure there of the Spanish
This
time.
one, the songka. This is an old
Game.
game, and then I guess some people in the province would still play songka. But I'm
You
not-
gotta be good at mathematics because I could count it that in what hole I will pick up, so I will reach my the other opponent will be having his
But-
main collecting here, and the other one's main collecting here. So you pick up a hole and then go it around.
I apologize if I'm not really aware about this
Sungka.
songka.
You don't know how to play it.
I don't know how to play this one.
It's counting.
We go pwede pa picture one. Picture.
There is an old Spanish chair. Then there's a long coffee table, and they can look on the other side of the street. Also looking at their gardens. And now like you can see the streets of Parian. Look, imagine it there. That will still be some old Spanish house because there's a few right across the road where that white pickup is, some heritage old Spanish material just put there. So that's the only one remaining on that family as well, so that can only be seen outside. So main affluent family subdivision or area. So you could imagine the carvings here. See that old Spanish influence. Hardwood carve, decorating the homes. They even got an old wall clock there. But you can see that this lamps that you can see beside the window, although it must have been just used for candles during fiestas to lit up the house. So that's an old cabinet, well preserved, carved, and another old chair looking through the road as their neighbors pass. All the tartanillas, you know, the horse carts drive through during the Spanish time, and this family can see that from their house, because that's one significant decorations or designs of the old Spanish houses. They got these big verandas or balcony that the rich can overlook their neighbors. You know, that's very significant. That's why when we went to Argao, there's a lot of ancestral homes as well in there. If you look at my Argao video, that will still be uploading. But that's one significant thing, that a Spanish design should have a big veranda, as you can see around Car, that you need to overlook your hacienda or your land, or look down over your neighbor. So this is the Yap Sandiego Ancestral Home here in Cebu City, a must to see if you are interested in the history of Cebu. So we're continuing in our walk here in Parian, and that's the monument that's famous here in Parian. But there's some sad things that you can see here. Another homeless family on the road. But we are not featuring them because we want to see another cultural heritage here. There's Jesuit House, where the Hotong Hardware is. This is the Jesuits House, 1730.
Well, we'll try to go inside and try to see if we can.
Jesuits House. Chip, pwede mo tanaw aning museum? Mao ba? Asa kani may museum sa Chip, no? Asa ko na Chipi? Diha lang dapit nimo. Mutanaw lang mi ba? Di lang mi musod. Oh. Asa man ang museum ani Chip? Oh. So, actually the museum is in here, but dili pasudlan Chip na. Pero sa una pasudlan pili bayad. 50. Before when they allow people to come into the museum, you have to pay 50 pesos to come in. But unfortunately, mulili la ko Chip B. It is now used as a hardware storage by the Hotong Hardware. Look at that. That's the Jesuit House Museum. There. You can see all the Spanish shell copies windows. Significant for... So, now you can imagine why they don't have any of the museum to be... Oh, that's the museum. Kana may museum diha dong no. Oh, kana di diha. Coffee shop. I thought it's something modern down there. So that's only the museum up there.
Kita mo sa ilang balag, kanang sa picture gani. Tara. Tara. Ka picture na picture ko.
Okay. So they said there's a picture, but as of the moment it's used as Hotong. Lagi ingon si Chippy. Tara ay. So we will just go back here when it's they can accept what's this visitors, but as of the moment it is closed. You cannot visit here in the Museo Parian. So we're continuing our walk. We are on our way now to Colon Street. And another thing that you notice around Parian, there's a lot of homeless people, like people from the provinces that just come here and nowhere to stay. That's where they stay on the streets, because right now, Colon Street has been cleaned up by the government. Now, let's cross over dong. Dudong, ano sa tabi? Kadiyot lang ka. Before we get stuck with this pole that he is riding on. And I wanna have a coverage. Look at that. It's just running on the street on that one. That will be considered such dangerous in abroad.
What's funny about this Labelia? Look at that girl carrying the quarantine pass, and the quarantine pass is just like one whole bond paper. My God.
Yeah, it is. I got one here. It's the whole one bond paper here on my bag.
It's crazy. You know, in Valenzuela, we only use our mobile for
I got it here. That's the quarantine pass here is the whole bond paper. And you have to laminate the whole bond paper.
Lord.
Because otherwise, like so-called, they will not be able to read the whole thing. It said, because mine is folded when it was laminated. And it says, you still can read it, just turn it over.
Crazy.
So here, those are the lodging, Queen's Joe Lodge, Hidden Lodge. The yellow one is called Hidden Lodge. This is like the red light district here in Colon. You got Sanjego Street, Honquera Street. This is out here in Colon Street. Those sidewalk there will be full of working girls around midnight. And they got lodging house, like beds that you can rent from people just putting up beds there, like little apartments. But what I know is this yellow one, the Hidden Lodge, and underneath that, that's where all the working girls will be there at night. And they can rent rooms or cubicles up there on that house there, lodging house. So we are just here on the end of Colon Street on the north side, connecting to Parian, but you can walk through this street right on the end. That will be connecting you to A. Borromeo. The end of other Colon Street will be Gaisano South. Gaisano South. So this is it. Colon Street is now clean up. The oldest street in the Philippines. So as of the moment, I'm just showing you the north side of Colon Street because I am featuring more of the Parian side. And I have another schedule after this that 3 o'clock, so I can't go directly here. But there's another old building across. I will just have a quick look. You know that Oliva Saplao building? That's 1960s. That's the Hidden Lodge. And that one's another Hidden Lodge. So I'm now just walking back to where I parked because I got a 3 o'clock appointment. But this is the area in Colon, that the straight there where the cars are moving. That's Colon Street. They're heading on to the Parian Way, which I have been. And this is the University of the Visayas. Of course, it is located in Colon.
The oldest university in the Philippines.
Yeah, the oldest university in the Philippines is the University of Visayas. One of the oldest, because the University of San Carlos is the oldest. So next to the University of San Carlos is the University of the Visayas. Another old structure that most Filipinos can recognize is this building here, the old Gaisano Main. I could remember before when they just opened when I was younger, they got a big snake put in a tank, placed in the middle of this mall, like department store they call it, and that's where we go in there. There's a snake and there's a crocodile, pet of the owner.
A At the center of the mall?
Yeah, the center of this mall. So it's green, so we can walk. But as you know, we're only gonna be until the Super Metro because that's where we park. That structure that you can see on the sidewalk here now is to prevent the flooding coming into the establishment. But the thing is, the water that gets in here, they have to take it out manually. So if you're going inside Gaisano, you need to fill up all this tracing form before you can even get in.
The area where you need to fill up is actually far from
The entrance.
the entrance. And you also the Pakulo.
See, if you don't have the face shield, you're not allowed to go in. So this man will have to buy a face shield. And that's where all the sidewalk vendors who are selling those face mask, face shield will make money. So I'm walking across here. That's the University of the Visayas campus, and we will be passing a very noisy, I guess turn it off. So this is the Super Metro. This is gonna be where our stop because we will be going on their parking lot. That's where I park. Underneath, you can actually park here for a fee, of course, and then your vehicle will be safer because there's a lot of clamping here in Colon Street.